Tonight, the mountain is politically erupting with its east and west at each other. On Saturday last week, Agikuyu Council of Elders coronated National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi as the region's spokesperson. A section of leaders from Mount Kenya East hailed the move, terming it as an end to the seclusion of the East. Today, leaders from the west side of the mountain have poked holes at that coronation. Tonight, we tell you why there is disharmony in the mountain. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, Health CS Mutahi Kagwe sounds the alarm over what he says could be a bigger fourth wave of COVID-19. This as 28 more people test positive for the highly contagious Indian variant. Mount Kenya region now split into two, with governors from Mount Kenya West now on a collision path with their counterparts in the East. Former National Treasury CS Henry Rotich charged afresh over the Aurora and Kimwarer Dams multi-billion shillings graft scandal. And Kenyatta University academic staff vow to reject any reform that will negatively affect the staff, in keeping with the IMF recommendations to overhaul 3 top universities. And Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. Good evening. I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi's controversial coronation as the Mount Kenya spokesman has continued to cause a stir among leaders in the region, with divisions now pitting county bosses from central Kenya. While governors from the east side of the mountain have continued to support the coronation, the west side is not only poking holes at the last Saturday's event, but has also begun plotting for 2022 on its own. And as David Mudoka reports, the mountain is now at risk of splitting into two owing to the deepening disharmony.
Cracks within the Mount Kenya political landscape have continued to deepen, with last Saturday's coronation of National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi as the region's spokesperson seemingly fueling tension in an already politically restive central region. 3 days since the controversial event, county bosses from the region have been drawn into the debate, with an uproar from a section of the governors and an equivalent support for the coronation by another, cementing the perceived split in the mountain. On Wednesday, the divisions were at play when a meeting in Nairobi, supposed to bring together county bosses from Mount Kenya, was snapped by all 3 governors from Mount Kenya's east side. The 3, namely Meru's Kiraitu Murungi, Embu's Martin Wambora, and Tharaka Nithi Muthomi Njuki, have lately differed with the rest of the region's top brass following their decision to endorse Speaker Muturi's coronation. The meeting would only be attended by their counterparts from the west, who not only distanced themselves from Speaker Muturi's coronation, but also insisted on a different route to rally ahead of next year's polls.
Me in Murang'a, I discussed it, and I'm not retracting on what I said. No. So on what I said in Murang'a, I still stand by that because I'm a cultural person, but it was not a subject of discussion today.
Hatukukutana kama viongozi wachache, tumeitana jana usiku na tukasema sasa tumenyamaza sana na tunaona watu wanakimbia huku na kule, inafaa tujipange.
I know there could have been some issues here and there, but we are starting today. Watch this space. Mount Kenya must and will remain united.
The leaders further intimated that the meeting has now set off a chain of meetings whose main agenda will be uniting the region with an eye on next year's general elections.
We are planning to have a meeting of key stakeholders from the Mount Kenya region in 2 weeks' time, and we shall convene that meeting in Nyeri.
Mount Kenya region carries a huge vote basket. We have said we are here to start a journey of bringing our region together. Those numbers cannot be taken for granted. They must count for something.
Nimesema katiba imetupa nafasi. Tutazungumza sisi kama watu ya Mlima Kenya. Na tukiona inafaa kusukuma mmoja wetu, bila shaka usishangae ukisikia kuna mmoja ndani yetu amesema.
Na viongozi wengine ambao tutashikana nao kutoka sehemu yetu, wale watu wako na interest na zitapatikana kwa shodo moja.
The elections are set to be held in August next year. David Mudhoka, TV47.
Elsewhere, former Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich and 4 others have been charged afresh over the Kimwarer and Aror Dams multi-billion shilling scandal. The anti-corruption arm of the High Court has also set aside a lower court's decision that had acquitted Nakuru West Member of Parliament Samuel Arama and 2 others over corruption allegations. Maggie Wanjiru has that report.
Former Treasury CS Henry Rotich and his 4 co-accused persons appeared before Milimani Anti-Corruption Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogoti on Wednesday to answer to fresh charges over the Aror and Kimwarer Dam multi-billion shilling scandal. This comes after the Director of Public Prosecutions presented a new charge sheet in the court after amending the old one. The prosecution dropped charges against Permanent Secretary Kamau Thuge and Susan Kowach, who had previously been charged alongside Rotich. Kamau and Kowach are set to testify against the former CS as state witnesses. Meanwhile, the anti-corruption arm of the High Court has ordered Nakuru West Member of Parliament Samuel Arama and 2 others to be put on their defense after setting aside a lower court decision that had acquitted them of corruption charges in 2019. In June 2018, Ogoti was charged with several counts of abuse of office, fraudulent acquisition of land in Nakuru, and conspiracy to defraud a businessman. The case will be mentioned on the 15th of June before Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogoti. Margaret Wanjiru, TV47.
Now, the prime suspect in the murder of former National Lands Commission Communications Director Jennifer Wambua is unfit to stand trial. The Machakos High Court was told on Wednesday morning. Advocate Doreen Mwau told the court that her client Peter Mwangi alias Sankale was found to be mentally unfit and is due for another mental assessment before he can take plea. Mwangi Minor has that report.
The 23rd of April, it shall now be read.
Peter Mwangi Jenga alias Sankale, man accused of murdering Jennifer Wambua Itumbe, failed to take plea Wednesday morning at the Machakos High Court when he appeared before Judge David Kemei on grounds that he was mentally unstable. The advocate acting for him on pro bono basis cited a mental assessment report that was ordered by the same court on May 17th.
From the report, the doctor states that currently is not fit to plead and recommends medication, which she has listed in the report, and further recommendation the accused to be reviewed in 3 weeks' time.
Justice David Kemei ordered that the matter be mentioned on June 22nd at the Kajiado Law Courts pending a second mental assessment test in 3 weeks' time. The suspect will remain in police custody at the Muthaiga police station where he has been held.
We direct that the matter be mentioned on 22nd of June 2021 before the District Registrar Kajiado for the purpose of allocating suitable dates before the presiding judge once the second medical assessment is filed.
According to court papers, the charges state that between 12th and 13th March this year, at Vet Farm Mbulbul in Kajiado County Sub-County, within Kajiado County, jointly with others not before court, Sankale murdered Jennifer Itumbe Wambua. The deceased went missing after reporting to her office at Arthi House before she went missing, and 2 days later, her body was found dumped in Gong Forest. It is believed Wambua had gone to pray before her assailant sexually assaulted her and later strangled her to death. The late Jennifer Wambua was a key witness in a mega corruption case in which she was set to testify days before she was killed. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, the University Academic Staff Union, Kenyatta University chapter, says they will resist any reform that may affect the students and the staff negatively, such as retrenchment. The union was responding to a recommendation from the International Monetary Fund for Kenya to overhaul 3 top public universities to save them from financial distress as part of the condition to receive the $2.34 billion loan. The union leaders say KU has been dealing with financial malpractices that date back to mid-2000 which they want investigated.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
By end of May, it is expected that a strategy set to address financial problems facing universities in the country will be out. The University Academic Staff Union leaders believe that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and other relevant government institutions are coming up with a strategy, and their voice has been left out.
WASU is a key stakeholder in higher education and cannot be ignored in matters affecting the sector, including the impending restructuring as a consequence of the IMF funding to the government of Kenya.
The union leaders claim that Kenyatta University has been dealing with financial malpractice since mid-2000 and that the report by IMF about the financial crisis at the institution was not a surprise.
Having noted symptoms and indicators of financial malpractices at the university, WASU KU elected leadership and the leadership of the other sister unions have either jointly or separately written to the relevant authorities, and in particular the EACC as indicated in the report, requesting for investigations and audit of the university.
After a comprehensive audit on Kenyatta University Book of Accounts, WASU wants officers who will be found to have mismanaged the institution's finances to be brought to book. They are also advising against establishment of new public universities, colleges and campuses, and they want all government-sponsored students to be admitted only to public universities as a way of increasing funding. The International Monetary Fund recommended that the country should overhaul Nairobi, Kenyatta and Moi universities to save them from financial distress as part of the conditions to receive the $2.34 billion loan. The universities are among select state-owned agencies that have been lined up for IMF-backed structural reforms. This is set to cost thousands of jobs and overhaul management of these institutions.
We shall resist in any way possible reforms that may affect staff negatively, if any, like retrenchment. We shall not allow any academic staff member of Kenyatta University to be a sacrificial lamb because of the financial mismanagement at the university.
Meanwhile, Kisii University Staff Union have boycotted work, claiming they had been shortchanged by the management on dues negotiated in the collective bargaining agreement. Kenya University Staff Union Secretary General claims that the management had failed to pay the staff 6.6 million shillings due from the exchequer as per the CBA.
They have been taking us round circles. Finally, when we were almost napping them, they said, now we are going to pay. Then all of a sudden, we go into the negotiation room where we are the local implementation committee. We are given, addressed down. We are told this is what you must take. It can never be. It can never work.
Students, when your teachers and lecturers are hungry, I can assure you there's nothing that you're going to get. They will be cheating you in class. They will be cheating you in class. They're uncomfortable. Their children are not going to school. How will they come and issue exams to you? How will they mark you, your exams?
Kusu says the staff were meant to receive the money by June 2020 and not later as claimed by the university management. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Thank you, our senior education affairs reporter Sharon Baranga, for that report. You're watching TV 47 News Tonight. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us.
Wondering what next in a crowded, confused and uncertain career market after KCSE? Worry no more. TV 47, the fastest growing youth targeted TV station across the 47 counties, brings you an entire month of career options and choice opportunities across all the leading universities and TVET institutions. We have put together a rich group of experts who will guide you through your career aspirations throughout the month of May. This will climax with a virtual career fair scheduled for the 28th of May at the University of Nairobi Auditorium. All relevant stakeholders are invited to reserve a seat via david.katiku@tv47.co.ke or careersfair@tv47.co.ke on 0791 999 883.
New Blue Band peanut butter. Made with 100% pure peanuts and a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with new Blue Band peanut butter.
Hey. It's boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness is in our DNA. It's in the way we move and laugh. It's in the way we walk, the way we rock, and how we just don't stop. You feel me? We add color to everything, to every day and every dish, because the world needs our crazy. We're the different flavors that make life more exciting. We're the ones who add color to every moment. Fanta, color every moment.
Ofa zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali. Tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Ndio nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444# utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukio siku njema na tunukiwa ofa kila siku.
Oh, hi. It's not what you're thinking. It's a cup of coffee. Coffee, movie. Together, coffee and movie. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. on TV 47, where we bring you interesting, enticing people. Well, we've concentrated on musicians.
Yeah. Of Untold Stories.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now, Health CS Mutahi Kagwe has sounded an alarm on the looming COVID-19 fourth wave as the country recorded 28 new cases of the deadly and highly contagious Indian variant. Kagwe, who was speaking during the completion of the first phase of the polio immunization campaign in 13 high-risk Counties has urged counties to prioritize leveling up of the oxygen capacities in all level 4 and 5 hospitals in readiness of the coming wave. Our health reporter Zainab Mohammed has the details.
After experiencing a second and a third wave, Kenya is slowly inching towards a looming fourth wave. According to Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, 28 more cases of the deadly Indian variant has been recorded in the country as of 17th May. Kagwe warning that the deadly variant is now at the community transmission level.
We have sequenced some 38 people, for example, and out of the 38 people, some 28 of them had the Indian variant. We are not talking about a very long time ago. We are talking about the 17th of May. That's when we did that sequencing. And therefore, it is good for us to know that the variant is here with us.
The CS now sounding an alarm to counties to have all their level 4 and level 5 hospitals fully piped with adequate oxygen as the deadly variant threatens to accelerate the coming wave.
The positivity is still relatively low, but we are asking county governments to prepare themselves, particularly with the supply of oxygen and piping the hospitals, piping the hospital wards, and being prepared with a supply of oxygen beyond what we currently have.
Kagwe was speaking during the completion of the first phase of the polio immunization campaign in 13 high-risk counties. The first phase has seen the immunization of a total of 2.5 million children under the age of 5 against a target of 3.45 million children. Phase 2 of the campaign is set to begin on the 19th of June. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Elsewhere, Attorney General Paul Kihara Kariuki was put on spot by the Senate Justice and Legal Affairs Committee over the pending court case pertaining the appointment of the 41 judges to serve on the Court of Appeal. Senators queried Kihara Kariuki over the reason for derailment of some court cases, while others were given a priority in the same courts. Kihara rather told senators his office is working hard to ensure the matter is given a hearing date soon, though senators seemed dissatisfied with the answers.
In a date with Senators, Attorney General Paul Kihara Kariuki was hard-pressed by over pending court case which will determine the fate of 41 judges appointed by former CJ David Maraga to serve in the Court of Appeal. Senators Mutula Kilonzo Jr., among others, wondering how some court cases are fast-tracked while others are derailed despite being weighty and more beneficial to the country, calling upon fast-tracking of the matter, just like the BBI process.
Whilst the other case concerning that was ruled on last week concerning the contentious constitutional amendment bill appears to be expedited, nobody hears the same about the one concerning the judges. I personally think, as both are the legal practitioner, a leader in this country, that this is a matter that an early date should have been sought so that this matter is cleared and as quickly as possible, so that at the very least, the country can move on. We are stuck.
My answers or anybody else's answers at this stage would be prejudicial to that process. That is my humble view. Whatever other mechanisms may be taking place behind the scenes, I think would not, with respect, be for this forum, because I would not be at liberty to say or disclose any discussions that may be intended or are already taking place.
Further Solicitor General Ken Ogeto, who also appeared before the committee, saying the president has not obtained any stay order on the matter so far, faulting the High Court decision, which is limiting the president's ability to discharge his duty of protecting the values and principles of the Constitution.
It is therefore our respective submission that the courts should be allowed an opportunity to consider the matter and to render their considered decision on how the matter should be progressed. We respectively submit, Chair.
Okay, maybe we can take any comments from honorable senators before we proceed to the next one.
Now, senators have called upon the Office of Attorney General to intervene in the matter. President Kenyatta has been criticized for his inaction, which players in the judicial system feels has crippled services in the courts and violated the rights of the designated judges.
Honorable Attorney General, everybody is stuck out of this issue. And we would like ourselves, because I've dealt with you at a personal level, I think that your legacy should be to expedite this matter and to have our judges treated properly.
It is true, as the Solicitor General has said, that there are some very weighty issues which have befallen us as a country surrounding this litigation. And as the Honourable Senator Mutula Kilonzo says, it is imperative that they be determined and determined quickly. So rest assured that anything that we can possibly do is being done.
In February 2020, a three-judge bench of the High Court ruled that the president had no mandate to review, reconsider or decline to appoint those recommended for promotion by the JSC.
Elsewhere, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, has challenged counties to coordinate mobilization of revenue sources at the grassroots in order to sustain service delivery. CRA has launched 2 documents on counties on revenue sources and training guidelines. Josh Onsare has the details.
3, 2, 1,
Auditor General Nancy Gathongo has stated that the county governments have many sources of revenue but are not well mobilized to ensure service delivery is achieved in the counties. The Auditor General says corruption is a major dent in revenue collection.
We have, of course, misappropriation of revenue, leakages, and outright theft. And there's revenue that is collected that we never see it being banked, spent at source with lack of accountability. Now, as a result of these challenges, service delivery by county governments and development at the county government levels has been hampered.
The Treasury noted that the counties in the 6 years of devolution made collection of up to 40%, which is way below what is expected.
The county governments continue to experience challenges with regard to generation of on-source revenue. In the first 6 years of devolution, counties only managed to raise about 40% of their estimated revenue potential annually.
Counties can easily raise enough OSR if they focus on those revenue streams that give them at least more than 80%.
During the launch of 2 documents on counties on revenue sources and training guidelines by the Commission on Revenue Allocation, Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka called on counties to be realistic in revenue accountability.
I also recommend that counties need to be realistic in a revenue projection for better budgeting, because sometimes some of them have been very overambitious.
That increasing our own source revenues or improving from the levels where we are will give us the freedom to budget, and that will ultimately improve service delivery to the citizens.
Further, the Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka said the Senate will come up with legislation to have property rates revised for counties to generate more revenue for taxes. The rates that are in use are those of 1980s.
I really want to appeal. I'll go out of my way, even in Senate, to see whether we can come up with something that will raise that, will bring to speed the legislation that can address the property rates, so that we use this is 2021.
The National Treasury, in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands and Fiscal Planning, is in the process of engaging a consultant to develop a national rating legislation to replace the Valuation Rating Act, CAP 266, and the Rating Act, CAP 267. The Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development is developing a national trade bill, which is expected to harmonize business licensing countrywide.
After the training guidelines on revenue collection in the counties, the Commission on Revenue Allocation hopes the counties will depend on themselves and not from the donors. Joash Onsare, TV 47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Josh Onsare, for that report. Quite a number of your feedback. Paul Ngugi says, watching from Kitale. Dennis Kibwot Kilel says, tuned from Olbonata Solai. Deborah Ann says, watching live in Nairobi. Enos Omodi says, following TV 47 news at 9 p.m. Kosgei Yotar says, watching from Majengo, Kanamai. Jonathan Gitonga says, watching as well. Keep talking to us. Time for us to take another short break. Stay tuned. We still have a lot lined up for you.
You are watching TV 47, the home of What Next in a crowded, confused and uncertain career market after KCSE? Worry no more. TV 47, the fastest growing youth targeted TV station across the 47 counties, brings you an entire month of career options and choice opportunities across all the leading universities and TVET institutions. We have put together a rich group of experts who will guide you through your career aspirations throughout the month of May. This will climax with a virtual career fair scheduled for the 28th of May at the University of Nairobi Auditorium. All relevant stakeholders are invited to reserve a seat via david.katiku@tv47.co.ke or careersfair@tv47.co.ke on 0791 999 883.
New Blue Band peanut butter. Made with 100% pure peanuts. And a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with new Blue Band peanut butter.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes. When life gets boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness is in our DNA. It's in the way we move and laugh. It's in the way we walk, the way we rock, and how we just don't stop. You feel me? We add color to everything, to every day and every dish, because the world needs our crazy. We're the different flavors that make life more exciting. We're the ones who add color to every moment. Fanta, color every moment.
The home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to more news. And police officers in Limuru, Kiambu County today had a rough time calming angry border operators who are demanding immediate investigations and prosecution of 3 suspects connected to motorcycle theft in Limuru. Daniel Masiza has that report.
Hundreds of angry border operators arrived at the Tigon police station demanding immediate investigations and prosecution of 3 suspected motorcycle thieves under police custody. According to the operators, some of their colleagues have been killed and their motorcycles stolen in line of duty, but the police have been lackluster in dealing with such cases.
Tunataka justice as soon as possible, kwa sababu tumevumilia kutosha mpaka imefikia ya kukuja mpaka kwa ofisi yako.
So tungeomba police station Tigoni kwanza wasitangulie kupeleka hawa watu haraka kwa koti kabla hawaja wahoji, and use every means ndio hawa watu wapeane mwenzetu walipo wambemba mulimuweka wapi. Hivyo tu ningeomba.
Responding to the angry border operators, Limuru Police Commandant Elin Mola said the arrested suspects will be dealt with according to the law.
Tumewapeleka kotini ndio, lakini tunaenda kuomba koti ruhusa, itupatie ruhusa zaidi ya muda zaidi tukae na hao, alafu tuweze kujua uhusiano gani iko kati ya hizi pikipiki zimeuzwa kwa credit na kupotea kwa pikipiki na watu kuuawa. Sawa sawa. So hiyo ni uchunguzi tunaenda kufanya. In fact, immediately tunaenda kuanzisha. Na I wish mungekuja mapema kusema hii mambo kwamba mna suspect kuna syndicate, sort of syndicate. Ile kununua pikipiki kwa deni, mnafuatwa, mnauawa ama mnanyang'anywa pikipiki. So hili ni swali tunaenda tunalichukulia kwa uzito sana.
According to the border operators, apart from 3 deaths, another colleague has been missing for the last 1 week. His motorcycle was recovered in Namanga, Kajiado County. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Let's get to some business news. And Equity has announced a 64% profit growth in Q1 results despite a challenging environment due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While announcing the results, Equity Group Chief Executive Officer Dr. James Mwangi said that their strategies have proven resilient and sustainable. According to Mwangi, during the multi-crisis year, Equity invested huge amount of money and supported businesses to repurpose, retool and recover by supporting livelihoods of their customers.
Before tax have grown by 67% and profit after tax by 64%. Our non-funded income experienced significant growth of 31%. The great multi-crisis COVID-19, which started as a health crisis, ended up becoming an economic and humanitarian crisis. A lot of people have sunk down into poverty. Education has been disrupted. Health is still a challenge. And economic activities are still going through disruption. We have reinvented ourselves and positioned ourselves into the future. It's no longer the future. The future is here with us. 98% of our transactions are happening in what we used to call the future.
Despite the harsh economic effects of the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, KCB Group has posted 6.4 billion in net earning for the first quarter of 2021, a 2% increase in profit from 6.3 billion shillings in 2020. In a press release, the group CEO Joshua Oigara attributed this growth to cost-saving initiatives and an increased net interest income. Elsewhere, President Uhuru Kenyatta has assured Kenyans that the government will continue creating a conducive environment for businesses to thrive with the aim of creating jobs and wealth. Petronila Goren has more.
Just few days after reopening the Kenya Meat Commission in Athi River, the president on Wednesday officiated the opening of a slaughterhouse in Lakisama, Nairobi County. Speaking during the ceremony, the president said the government was creating an enabling environment for businesses, while also cushioning livestock farmers from exploitation from middlemen and lack of markets.
Haya na mengine ambayo tunafanya ni kwa sababu tunataka kuinua kilimo katika taifa letu. Na yale ambayo tunafanya kwa wafugaji wetu ndio tunaendelea kufanya hata kwa wakulima wetu wa kahawa, majani chai na mimea ingine mbalimbali. Ukiendelea kukuza hii biashara, hii ni kazi kwa vijana wetu. Hii ni pesa kwa mifuko ya wafugaji wetu, na hiyo ndio furaha yetu sisi.
According to the president, the government will continue sourcing for new markets and expanding existing ones to enable farmers sell their livestock at good prices.
Wakulima wa kahawa wameanza kuona pesa zikirudi mifuko yao. Wakulima wa majani chai, na tutaendelea hivyo hivyo kwa wakulima wa mahindi, viazi na mambo yale mengine, kwa sababu hiyo ndio jukumu la serikali.
NEMA is a 300 million shilling slaughterhouse owned by 3,000 livestock farmers and has a general installed daily slaughter capacity of 18,000 goats and sheep for local and export markets. Over 85% of the products are sold overseas.
Tumechanga beza 5,000, 10,000 ndio tumesanya hii slaughter ile unaona. Hakuna beza ya foreigner, hakuna beza ya watu nje, ambaye ni beza ya watu yako ambaye ni maskini.
Elsewhere, the president assured Nairobi residents of tarmacking 400 kilometers of roads in the informal settlements of Mukuru Kwanjenga, Mukuru Kayaba, Kiamaiko and Kibera. Patronila Goren for TV47.
Moving on, the Agricultural Food Authority has launched a nationwide crackdown on cartels caught flaunting Irish potato packaging regulations specified in the Crops Act of 2019. The regulations require all traders to package their potatoes in units of not more than 50 kilograms. According to the Act, any person caught breaking the law could be slapped with a 3-year prison sentence, a 5 million shillings fine, or both.
But we realize that brokers have been exploiting our farmers, forcing them to package potatoes, Irish potatoes, in bags exceeding maybe 100 or more kilograms. And I think in the process, our farmers get exploited.
This has actually been one of the issues whereby we find that the farmers are actually being cheated out of their sweat. So this law has actually to be implemented. It's now law, and we are telling all the people from within the country and within our county of Nyandarua, that nobody should actually be able to exceed those kilograms.
We started this back in 2019, and Nyandarua County was among the leading counties that launched the regulations officially, and enforcement commenced. As a Minister of Agriculture, we have realized that we cannot really effectively enforce the regulations without support from the law enforcement agencies, and that is why today we have formed a multi-agency team in the county government that will support the Ministry of Agriculture in enforcing the regulations.
Because for us to be able to enforce those regulations, we have to mount roadblocks when necessary, because without mounting roadblocks,
Well, that is it for the business news. We are taking another short break. When we come back from the break, Dennis is with us from the world of sports. Stay tuned.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Next on Men's Conference.
What I want to figure out is when is it too soon to give it up?
This makes most marriages circumstantial.
Is neither wine nor whiskey. It does not age with time.
That's what you say when I come to my senses.
Men's Conference, every Wednesday at 10 p.m. on the next episode of Beyond the Limit.
My name is Jean Kimani. It was in 1979 when I gave birth now to my third born. Little did we know it was the beginning of a long journey.
This can be difficult for every parent.
The society does not really accept these children.
I want to agree with Jane because you would hardly hear celebrations of children born with disabilities.
Saturday, 7:30 p.m.
What's up, yo? Dan Kwatalaku hapa. This Sunday utakuwa wapi? We have to be where this mug says coffee with Mbuvi at 8 p.m. Because I'm yours truly, Dan Kwatalaku. We're having the best conversations. Hii jioni tu, poa tu, tumetulia tu, hakuna mambo mingi. So, don't miss out. Call everyone, call the whole family, tell a friend to tell a friend that you need to be here at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Coffee with Mbuvi. Coffee with Mbuvi. Coffee with Mbuvi.
You see the woman you keep on admiring? They might be going through the same pain that you're going through right now, the same grief that you're going through now, or even the same disease that you are suffering with right now.
Why can't I see clearly?
But the only difference between you and them is that, yes, they cried, but they managed to learn through the pain, and they came out as conquerors.
I stayed for like 2 years without having a job.
I cannot even do a simple thing like taking a shower.
So Joy, you can imagine every day you're waking up, going to work, and knowing for sure, you have a dead baby.
Join me each and every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on 19 with Joy Irungu here on TV 47.
Watching TV 47, the home